It's interesting that in the gospel for last week and this week, we are told that Christ rose, but he rose with his wounds, with his scars. Last week it was doubting Thomas saying, unless I can put my hand in, I won't believe. And Jesus said, here are my wounds, believe. And Thomas, after seeing the scars of Jesus, said, my Lord and my God. In the gospel for this coming Sunday from the Gospel of Luke, Jesus materializes in the room. They're scared. They think he's a ghost. And again, he shows them his hands and his feet. He shows them his scars to help them believe. At our Tuesday morning Bible text study with local pastors, the pastor leading the study started this way. She said, does anybody here have any scars? And so I want to ask you that. Do you have any scars? It was Leonard Cohen, the singer-songwriter, who wrote this poem. He said, children show scars like medals. Lovers use them as secrets to reveal. But a scar is what happens when the Word is made flesh, human. Jesus' scars and our own. Well, the conversation about scars was interesting. One person said that they had a large scar almost vertically down their body, and it was about having had open heart surgery. And the scar for him is a sign of hope and gratitude. These scars come with stories. Janet my wife has 3 cesarean sections. So each of her scars has a name. Here's Timothy. Here's Rachel. Here's Jeremy. I have a large scar from prostate cancer surgery, which speaks to me of both fear and gratitude, and a reminder of how precious life is. Scars on both my hips from hip replacement surgery. So our scars are also stories, like the scars on Jesus. We live in a world with too many scarred bodies. Children's battered bodies in too many places, but especially congested at the border as children alone, 14,000 this month, fleeing mostly abuse and threats to their bodies by the gangs and other events. Scarred bodies in police shootings, scarred bodies in school shootings, scarred bodies every day. Jesus rose with his scars. That's a God we can know and trust. What do your scars tell you? What stories do they tell? Can this be a place where you can enter into the resurrection appearance of Jesus? Edward Shillitoe was an English poet and pastor, and he was also a soldier during World War I and saw firsthand the horrors of that war. And he wrote this poem called Jesus of the Scars. If we have never sought, we seek thee now. Thine eyes burn through the dark, our only stars. We must have sight of thorn pricks on thy brow. We must have thee, O Jesus of the scars. The heavens frighten us, they are too calm. In all the universe we have no place. Our wounds are hurting us. Where is the balm? Lord Jesus, by thy scars we claim thy grace. If when the doors are shut thou draw us near, Only reveal those hands, that side of thine. We know today what wounds are. Have no fear. Show us thy scars. We know the countersign. The other gods were strong, but thou wast weak. They rode, but thou didst stumble to a throne. But to our wounds only God's wounds can speak, and not a god has wounds, but thou alone. Scars aren't only on the body. Scars can be here in our psyche. They can be here in our hearts. We can be scarred by broken relationships. We can be scarred by trauma. I was scarred for many, many years, interrupting my sleep, thinking of bodies leaping out of the Twin Towers. But we all have these scars, these memories in our bodies, our souls, our hearts. And Christianity is the one religion where a wounded, broken God is totally with us and takes these scars upon himself. Hear that last verse of Jesus of the Scars by Edward Shillito one more time. Think of the songs we sing, like O Sacred Head Now Wounded, and think that that one who was wounded and bore scars is risen, has conquered with his scars, with us and our scars. The other gods were strong, but thou wast weak. They rode, but thou didst stumble to a throne. But to our wounds only God's wounds can speak, and not a god has wounds, but thou alone.